This is my vlog about me, a fully grown adult, over 30, trying to get back into comics. It seems that comics have become, well, to put it lightly, a lot more widely accepted, and I think that there's new life being breathed into them every day. But I will admit the changes that were made in the comics, they drove me away more than mere age and being busy. Of course, life happens as soon as you start paying rent yourself. Things like comics, well, yeah, they gotta fall by the wayside. But, you know, I sold off a bunch of comics in my last move, and now I'm back. I've been watching YouTube channels like Comic Pop and Comics Explained, Diversity in Comics, and all that wonderful stuff, and I thought that I would give my perspective. Just so you know, I am indeed a African-American gentleman. Yes. Isn't that crazy? But so I'll try to give my unique perspective. Now, first off, I'd like to say that I was really never a DC guy. If it wasn't for Batman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, and yes, the Teen Titans, I probably wouldn't know much or get into DC. It feels very much like gods trying to learn how to live amongst humans, not humans with the potential of being so much more than human. But then that's kind of Marvel's shtick, in my opinion. But when I stopped reading was when Teen Titans had actually adopted one of my favorite new characters. And if I can just get in here, there he is. One zip, you zap. Keep heroes entrapped. To the Teen Titans, the comic book Teen Titans was actually about to get Static Shock on the team, y'all. That was crazy. Like, a character that I had never seen before because I didn't understand... Well, I really wasn't into indie comics. I really didn't know much about the Dakotaverse or Icon or Static. I didn't know they existed before the Static Shock TV show, so I have to thank Dwayne Duffy for that wonderful, wonderful stuff. It gave me a superhero to love. As if I didn't already have superheroes I loved. But he was wonderful. He was great. He had an urban hip-hop, you know, black kid that was also smart. He wasn't obnoxious. Really felt organic. And I liked it a lot. And I was so happy to see him on the Teen Titans. I mean, the storylines had gotten really good. The art I thought was beautiful. Like, and man, dude, guys, the Teen Titans brought me, the TV show brought me to the comic books. I mean, if I can just move this, like, I know you probably can't see everything, but like, Titans. Like, I read hella back issues trying to catch up to all the wonderful stories, the Judas Contract, and all that other great stuff that really fleshed out the Teen Titans as such a great team. And, you know, being a youth myself at the time, I really did like reading about young heroes. I liked reading about kids that actually were in charge of themselves, that even though they were young, they were responsible and they weren't going to be treated like children, even though they were young. And I could really respect that because that happened to me a lot in my youth. And I know that people that have parents out there, because I'm an older guy, my friends have kids now, parents always have a problem with seeing their children getting older and deciding when it's time to stop infantilizing them, when they can be in charge of their own thing and they have learned lessons and they can be trusted. I mean, there are parents now that are 60 and their 40 or 30-year-old daughter or son is still their baby. And I don't mean like just kind of their baby, like people get treated really in a infantile way. But let's not get off subject. We're here to read and review comics as somebody just getting back into them. So I started out with Teen Titans Rebirth, number 9. This, man, this was a nice comic and a wonderful way to get back into the Teen Titans. We have a bit of our classic team. Got Starfire, Beast Boy, and I will say that the new Robin is not really my guy. I didn't really like his induction. Oh, and guys, I didn't like the new 52. I know what they're doing now with it. I mean, like I said, I watch blogs and vlogs and, you know, Comic Pop and Comic Book Cast and all that wonderful stuff to kind of stay, you know, knowing about these things. But, well, there's just no way to really get all of what's happening in just a quick snippet. I mean, for reasons of copyright infringement, they can't just spell out every single thing in the stories for you, and unfortunately, neither can I. But you know, the new 52 kind of turned me off. They just stopped everything incredibly abruptly, with no real rhyme or reason, and just started changing stuff, and people didn't like other people anymore, and romances were gone, and now their big thing is that, oh, some crazy cosmic entity came in and stole, I think, like, 5 to 10 years out of development, just because it's a cosmic entity, and it just kind of wanted to watch the world burn a little. So, now, it seems Wally West, not this Wally West, the red-haired Wally West that most likely most of us have been watching in the Justice League cartoons and mostly through the 90s. He was actually our Flash. You may think it's Barry Allen, but it's actually not. Even though I will always be there to watch Barry run. But yes, along with him, we also have Raven and Kaldur'ahm, which is a newer character. I don't know all that much about him. I'm not a big fan of Aquaman. But he is a really cool character. And this seems to be his breakout comic. Well, it does begin with, of course, I mean, as I said, I am not back into these comics, so I couldn't get back issues all the way back to #1, so I have to start at 9. But it's actually really wonderful. Seems like whatever happened, because as you see, there's advertisements, but there's absolutely no, like, this is what happened last week. They just want you to buy Munchkin Pathfinder, which is fine. Buy Munchkin Pathfinder. Because Munchkin's cool and Pathfinder's cool. I actually play Pathfinder. And I'll be talking about that too. But this was wonderful. The art was wonderful, and just, it seems to open up with some sort of heroic action happened, because a lot of people forget that Titan's Tower is actually right next to a superhero prison, or supervillain prison. And the kids, these young heroes, are basically given carte blanche to be called to stop any breakouts or anything that happens in the prison. So, and that's, you know, one way to have a prison that's like right in the middle of a heavily, densely populated area. Have a state-funded superhero tower, literally right down the river, right in the middle of the stream. But yeah, he comes in, and this is his new story. He comes in after stopping some guys, and he's just a new hero. And of course, a concerned mother, and it's just really played well. Her concern is written well for her son. I mean, there's obviously some powers that he's not really sure exactly where they come from, and he has to deal with that. I mean, we have a really cool art. Like, I really dig the art, the dynamic stuff, and it opens up just like a comic book should. You know, you got a kid, you know, a young hero that's running through an alleyway, a little bit of action, pinks. And of course, if you've seen the newer Titans show, you would know Kaldur'ahm just a little bit, maybe not too deeply into his backstory, but you'd know him a little bit. And he's got the old water kinesis, and who is that? Who's that? Is that Ra's al Ghul right there? Is that Ra's al Ghul right there? I think that's Ra's al Ghul right there. It's like, and my man has got him hemmed up. One move, Ra's al Ghul, super ninja guy, hemmed up by my man, sweaty faced, intense, maybe a little too intense. But of course, just like many of these wonderful, wonderful things open, the room fades and you realize you're in some training room. And I really, really like that they use Damien as this drill sergeant, this officer who's like, oh, you're a young hero? You're a young hero? Buddy, I was trained from birth by the best assassins in the world. You don't know jack about fighting. You don't know jack about teamwork. And I'm going to train you because you're my team, and Robins have almost always led the Teen Titans. And I like that. It feels better. In the mythos of Damian Wayne, he's too grown up. He's too much of his own entity to be just under Batman's skirt tails. And it's really cool. He gives him these wonderful water bladders. And of course, you know, in true fashion, you know, like, he's got new toys. He's like, so you like your new toys, huh? Good, because you really didn't do all that well. I'm going to need you to be better. And of course, Damian Wayne, angry little Robin, communicating the only way he knows how. But of course, we, after that, have a wonderful side story about whatever Kid Flash did to get kicked off the team, hesitated, it seems, in some way, and now he's a liability. And once again, I'm right back in, and instantly there's just some underlying tone of romance between him and Raven, and Raven's like, dude, I don't know, and she really doesn't allude very much whether it's like, is it her, or is it for her powers? Is she really not into the guy? He's like, you know what? I obviously need a little space. And of course, well, a little spoiler alert. We do find out that, as they do, which I was really cool and happy to see in this comic, they would used to do this a lot. Which I saw them fading this, but they would actually used to always tell you, like, look for more information, look for that information, read this book to find out what's going on or why they're mad at each other. And man, in comic books, you kind of need that. I was kind of sad that left. But I'm glad to see it back. But isn't that cool that, boom, on the next page, it just lets you know, like, bam, grab it, Deathstroke, Defiance, White Outfits, Deathstroke, Bumblebee, Kid Flash, boom, ba-bam, ba-boom, and it seems Tara's back on the team? Wait a second, Tara, the Judas contract? Isn't she dead? Dang, I've been away for a while. I thought this Tara died, and then there was like some girl who was like another species of humanoid that lived under the Earth who also had Earth powers, but she kind of quit and went home. When did she come back? I mean, if you guys ever checked out the Judas contract, and I don't mean the new Judas contract, like, actually I'll try to put a link somewhere around, but go to Comic Pop. Check out their back issues, the Judas contract. You'll know, that you'll find out soon, quick, fast, why she is like, where'd she come from? Why is she back? What happened? Who is this? But anyway, of course, spoiler alert, which you would already probably know if you watch the TV show, so light spoiler alert. Guess who's daddy sees Kaldur'ahm on TV? Yep. And of course, and I really do like this. So, we have a black male with a criminal father, a single mother, Like I don't mean to be stereotypical or harp on stereotypes or anything, but man, like a young black man, whether you think it's a stereotype or not, a young African American guy could actually identify with this character. I mean, he's trying to be good. He has a complicated relationship with his mom. You know, she just says his dad's evil without context. And I hate to say it, but that's kind of a trope. It's something that kind of happens in the African American community. Whether it be truthfully that your dad is a bad person, or I'm just jealous because he moved on, or like everyone has their own reasons why they love or still love or now hate their old spouse. But that is good writing, guys. I mean, this is definitely a read. Because believe me, even me flipping through it, you know, this isn't doing it justice. I mean, this art is beautiful. And she lets him know, like, look, you're not just your father's son. You're a man, but, you know, you're part of both of us. And that part of you that fights crime, hey, let's talk. Because, of course, what seems to be implied is that he ran away and joined the Titans through the last, 8 issues. But this is actually a really good read. I think I'm actually going to get back into Teen Titans. They do this thing with, like, Beast Boy kind of being like, hey, I blew up on this interview and now I have my own vlog, and he's kind of like being a young YouTube star, which is actually kind of cool. We actually have those, some really young, influential, cool kids that just kind of goof around. And it would be kind of fun for, him. It's definitely his personality. And once again, that brings it into the modern day really well. I like that. And of course, Starfire is still Starfire. Once again, the art, I love the art. She's written very well. It's like wonderful framing. I just love it. And I love the like casual conversation between the two veterans as they like take out these guys robbing a bank, because they're just having a conversation as they take these guys out. I mean, Beast Boy's like doing recordings for his vlog while this is happening. Like it's just like, these are our people. These are my guys. These are the ones that have been around for a long time doing this. They've had the team training. They work well together, and you can see that. Like real people can't sit there and have conversations while they fight, but that's one of those things that's really cool in comic books, that they can just be like, oh yeah, and this, and how's your mom? Because they're just that good, and they're fighting someone who's not spitting fire out of their mouth. Less concentration, but I will leave these last couple of pages as spoiler bait. But let's just say the next one in this series is called Custody Battle. And I mean, dude, come on, man. This is a good comic. This is a recommended read, 110%. The story is right on point. The art is right on point. The action, the funny. This is a good comic, y'all. This is worth getting back into comics.